We'll see if I can mentally take keeping up with this all week. I don't really know what I'm gonna do. Sometimes you just want to not do things that you don't want to do. I think my brain's just gooey. I want to stop. Send help. Hello humans, it's just Martine, and today I'm going to be showing you a week in the life of a full-time college student. Now when I say that I'm sharing a week in the life of a full-time college student, I don't mean that I'm just showing you my regular life. This is actually a specific challenge and pointed challenge at that towards the educational system that I'm attempting this week. So first we have to establish a couple of things. One, what is a full-time student? Technically in college, a full-time student is a student who's taking between 12 and 18 credit hours in a semester. Personally, I'm taking 14 right now, which feels like a blessing because I took 18 credits the past 2 semesters before this one. So I'm taking 14, so I am a full-time student. That being said, I think there's this preconceived notion of what a full-time student really is. I view myself as a full-time student because first of all, I meet those credit hour criteria, but then also school is my number one priority. No matter how many other things I do, school is my focus. But when you go online and you look up what it means to be a full-time student and how much time full-time students should actually be devoting to schoolwork, there's kind of a mixed bag, but it's between these two things. Half of the internet says that you should be spending 2 hours per credit hour working on the class outside of class time every week. And the other half of the internet insists that it's 3 hours per credit hour. So in the case of 2 hours per credit hour, if I was taking 15 credits, I should be doing homework and studying for 30 hours a week. If it was 3 hours for every credit hour and I was taking 15 credits, then it would be 45 hours per week, which you'll notice is more than a basic full-time job, which is 40 hours. Although I understand that that's still a range. And that does not include going to class. So I'm going to make this very simple on myself and view full-time in the way that the corporate workforce does, not in the point of being 9 to 5, although if you really want me to try an experiment where I do schoolwork from 9 to 5 for the week and then don't touch it on the weekends, let me know down below. But I'm going to be dedicating 40 plus hours to school this week. I am counting going to class because also because in spite of the fact that the internet says that you should be doing these things and it's actually commonly held belief by professors, I've had a professor tell me that I should be spending 3 hours a week on homework for his class. In spite of that, most college students, the data has shown, I've seen it over several articles, I'm not going to cite anything for you because I'm trash, show that most college students devote about 20 hours a week to homework. And I would honestly say that I don't know where I fit on the scale, and it could be less, it could be the same amount as normal college students, but I for sure don't do that 2 to 3 hours per credit hour every week for a couple of reasons. One, I have a lot of work and I'm stressed about it a lot of the time, but it doesn't take as long to do my work as some people might think. But then you're looking at the fact that some classes are going to require more work than others. So if you stuck to this continuum of doing 2 or 3 hours either way, for each credit hour equally across all of them, instead of being for this class, I'm going to spend a little time on it because that's all it needs, and for this class, I'm going to devote a huge chunk of time to it because it's harder. You see what I mean? The balance just doesn't work logically in how classes actually work. Some classes are harder than other classes. That's just a fact. So now we're going to get into the challenge. What are the rules? How am I going to do this? Cool and crazy, yeah. So basically this week, my minimum for myself that I'm spending on school stuff is 40 hours. And I'm going to be tracking it primarily using Forest, hopefully. So today, I went into class and I set my Forest timer when class started, and then I stopped it at the end. Because class ended early, my class only counted as 45 minutes of doing schoolwork today. Any work that I have for my executive board position, for the club that I'm in, or for my internship, they do not count towards the hours that I'm spending on schoolwork. They do not count towards my full time, even though I'd argue that clubs and organizations also contribute to the fact that school is full-time for students. It's not gonna count, whatever. Neither is doing stuff for YouTube. So even though I'm talking about school right now, this is not me doing schoolwork. Keep that in mind. So 40 hours by the end of the week. Let's hope I don't fall behind because that would be tragic. And we're going to see what happens. If I'm searching for work to do, if I get super ahead on stuff, that would be dope, by the way. Or if I'm just doing what I normally do, we will find out. Let's do this. It's 8:43 and I just finished my 8 hours for the day, which makes no sense to me. I swear time absolutely disappeared somewhere in there because I feel like I didn't take any breaks except to go put my laundry in and go have meals with people for an hour each, and somehow it took me 12 hours to do 8 hours of work. I didn't count commuting and stuff, so that's probably where it went, but oh my gosh, it was exhausting. On the other hand, I got a lot done. That's cool, I guess. We'll see if I can mentally take keeping up with this all week. I really don't want to fall behind. I'm worried because tomorrow in the evening, like I have stuff to do, like meetings and stuff, so I can't work on schoolwork, and like if I only finished around 9 tonight, like I hope I finish before evening comes tomorrow, but I don't think that's gonna happen, so like I don't really know what I'm gonna do. For now, I'm gonna take a shower and relax for a bit before bed because I deserve it. That was probably the most productive day of my entire life, if we're being honest. Well, that depends. Most productive, like schoolwork wise, but I've gotten nothing else done so far. So, all right, it's 8:13 on Tuesday morning, and I'm going to start with some biology reading to help ease me into getting some work done. So let's do this. This experiment is really forcing me to do things that I was putting off and really didn't want to do. Already today I've done like 3 things that I didn't want to do. So that's partially a good thing, partially kind of annoying, not gonna lie. Sometimes you just want to not do things that you don't want to do. Now I'm headed to lunch. It's the end of day 2 of this experiment, and I am so tired, but in way better spirits than I was anticipating. Don't get me wrong. I thought I'd feel a lot more burnt out than I do, so that's really good, because the goal is not to burn myself out. But I got a lot done today, so much so that my brain doesn't work. I do think it's interesting. I was talking about this with my sister yesterday about the fact that like although I'm working on schoolwork for like a dedicated 8 hours, I'm getting more ahead and doing more of the work that takes less effort because like I can only focus on like demanding and creative things for so long. So that's kind of frustrating because it means I'm like making progress in those like harder and more long-term things, but also not as much as I'd like to be making. That being said, I'm still making way more progress than I do during a normal week. Tomorrow should be exciting because I'm going to be studying for biology, which will be a different pace from the things that I've been doing. And I also got a book in today from Amazon that I'm reading for, not directly for a class, but I'm getting honors credits for doing it, so I'm counting it as academic work this week, because I didn't know when else I would find time to read 200 pages, and I'm reading it in like an academic context, like we're doing reading groups and like seminars on the book. That's also a nice change of pace, but I swear I started working at like 7:50 this morning, and I took breaks to do things like walk to class and eat meals and have Bible study and like one meeting, and somehow I still didn't finish my 8 hours until like past 9 p.m. So that's great. I still don't know where time goes. Day 3, here we come. I slept like the dead last night, so hopefully I'll sleep well tonight. I think my brain's just gooey brain. Good night. Happy Wednesday. It feels like I've lived 5 weeks in this 1 week. Absolutely insane. Last night I thought of like a ton of stuff that I could work on, and I'm left with 2 things on the list. And it's only like 12:30 right now. So that's where we're at right now. This morning I woke up and I really didn't want to do work. Like yesterday, I was heckin' motivated in the morning, and that was not the case this morning. So I sat in bed and read some Kindred, and that helped a little to get me going. And then I did a ton of stuff this morning. Like, okay, I haven't been writing a to-do list in my bullet journal every day because like, I don't know how much I'm going to get done, but I've been writing things after I finish them and like crossing them off. And so here's what my lists look like so far for the week. So far this morning, I've practiced a comm presentation twice. I studied bio. I watched 2 bio lectures. I did some research for my research class, and then I made edits to an abstract for a conference, and I went and had lunch with people. Oh, and I read some of Kindred. I forgot about that. What am I learning so far? To be honest, I don't know. I'm learning that full-time work is BS, quite frankly. I'm learning that 40 hours is like a lot, and 8 hours in one day is way more than you think it is, like truly 8 hours. I'm learning that mornings are short, which I learned over and over and over again, and still don't like get the message that if you start your day at 8, like the morning is short, but I'm also not gonna get up earlier than that. So I end up working into the night, which I'm not really good at, and it's just a whole mess. I'm learning I'm pretty good at getting stuff done. When I sit down to get it done, I just usually put it off. This is forcing me to do things that I would otherwise put off, so I guess It's good. And also I feel like I'm not rushing through things as much because my goal is not to finish something, it's to spend a certain amount of time overall working, and I only have so much I can work on. So I'm like, it's not like I'm wasting time while I'm doing things, it's just that I'm being more careful about how I do them and like taking more time to think things through. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like having half a really positive experience, half I want to stop, but I'm not gonna stop. So I've used filming this clip to stall long enough. Let's go. All right, good morning. It's Thursday morning, almost there. And today I'm going to basically walk you through my day and what I get done when I do 8 hours of schoolwork in a day. Lucky for me, I have 3 classes today, so that will make this significantly easier, but I'm also just tired from doing work for the rest of the week so far. So here's where we're at. It's just past 8:30. At around 8 o'clock, I spent like 12 minutes in bed reading Kindred, and I got up to the part that I need to be at tomorrow for the reading group I'm reading it for. So that's like 12 minutes of work done, which is better than none so far. And I think right now I'm going to sit down and take some bio notes because I was doing that yesterday and I'm on a roll. Let's do it. All right, it's 10:50 and I'm just getting ready for my 11 o'clock class. So as you saw, I worked on bio notes for 3 lectures, and then I actually got caught up filling out a spreadsheet for a child advocacy program, like research thingy mabob, and it took way longer than I wanted it to, but at least I started it. And then I got caught up submitting my abstract to the Northeast Modern Language Association to see if they'll let me present at their virtual conference. So now I have class where I'm going to be trying to convince my classmates to vote for me for president. Wish me luck, I guess. It's 12:18 and I just got out of my first class. My presentation went really well, so that's exciting. Like the teacher said, I did a good job after I finished, so that's always really nice. Now I'm going to make some lunch, just a reality check. It's probably gonna be pizza rolls because my next class is in like 10 minutes and it's also in here, so yeah, who knows when I'll see the light of day, but it won't be right now. It's 1:43, I just got out of class and I really don't feel like doing work, but I'm on the path to be done sooner than the past few days if I just keep going, and I'd really like that, so I'm going to drag myself to the library and get some work done before my next class. All right, this is my first time outside so far today. Yay. I just got out of my last class for the day and then did like 10 minutes of textbook reading in order to reach my 8 hours for the day, and this is the earliest I finished my 8 hours all week, probably because my lunch break was only like 5 minutes long because I had one class and then another class in a row, and I didn't have like any activities this afternoon, like I didn't have therapy or anything, but I'm so glad I won't be doing work until 9 p.m. tonight or later. Also, so far this week, I've done like a total of 1 extra hour of work over the course of all the days, so that tomorrow I only have to do 7 hours. If I happen to be really motivated tonight, which probably won't be, and that's fine, then I might do more to lessen that time, because tomorrow's Friday and I know I won't want to work, so we'll see what happens. I know I'll be going for later than this tomorrow, which makes me sad because like I have a meeting that does not count as like academic, and I usually have a long lunch on Fridays with a specific person, and like I usually spend some time after my first class with my sister, all of which are good things and I don't want to get rid of, but it's just going to make those 7 hours last really long. Classes did make today so much easier though. It is Friday at 6:22 p.m. and I have a little over 2 hours left in my challenge. I'm just going to be reading Kindred because I had my discussion for it today, so I can go on to next week's reading. Thank goodness, because there's literally nothing else I think I would be okay doing schoolwork wise right now. I'm just so over it. I never do work on Fridays, specifically Friday afternoons and evenings, because growing up, my mom didn't let us do homework on Friday afternoons. We needed the break, but we were also too like mentally guilty of things, so she had to make it a rule that we didn't do it, because she's the best, and said we'd like go to the library and stuff, whatever. My childhood is not the point of this. My point is that I'm going to be reading this for the next couple hours, and then I'll be done this experiment. I can't wait. But also it's been good, but also I can't wait. I did it. I worked on school for 40 hours this week. Part of me wants to cry. Part of me does not realize what just happened because I was like on a roll, so I went past my last timer for a few minutes. Part of me does not comprehend that tomorrow I don't have to do homework. I'm so happy, but also my brain does not get it. Send help. So it's Saturday evening and I'm left wondering to myself, what was the purpose of this? And how did it turn out in total? Well, I accomplished what I set out to do. I wanted to hit 40 hours of schoolwork this week, and I did that. And I think I managed not to burn myself out, although I guess we'll find that out this upcoming week. Editing Martine here. I would not say that I am fully burnt out from this week-long experiment. However, I do not feel my best, especially motivation-wise. This week it is low and I still have stuff to do, so that's not great. I'm just tired. This was an overall positive experience, but looking back on it, I do feel less pleasant than I could at present moment. That's just a disclaimer. Today has felt so good. So good. I also learned some things about myself this week. I think this whole year during the pandemic, I've been like really scared about losing my whole identity or like doubting myself, because I'm usually a really self-disciplined and determined, motivated person, and I hadn't felt that this year. I miss having that feeling, and I didn't think that I would bring myself to actually complete this experiment. Like I totally thought I would wake up Monday morning having said to myself the night before that I was going to do this experiment randomly and be like, no, because that's happened for a couple different video ideas. I've just woken up and been like, you thought, or like I do Monday and be like, I can't do this all week. No, but I did the whole thing. I did it all. So that's something to be proud of. I also am like the rest of the semester's way ahead on all the mundane things, so now I can focus on the harder stuff for classes. Like I didn't write my bio paper that's due on Friday. It's not that big of a deal. I did like the readings for it and stuff, but I didn't draft it. But like I did the rest of the out of class lectures for bio for the rest of the semester. No more taking bio notes in my study with me's. And I did like the rest of the reading for the semester for honor seminar. And I finished my research journal for psych honor seminar. So all of those are exciting things. It doesn't mean I don't have a crazy amount of work to do next week. It just means that's not the work that I have to do. I also managed to make it so that I could read an entire book in it. I read all of Kindred this week and it was so good. So I learned that I am disciplined and I am determined and I can do things that I set my mind to still, because I knew I could do that before, but like I was worried that I had lost it. And I also learned that like full time is a joke. Nobody actually does that much work on one thing that I did this week. It was unpleasant. Like I found my groove, I was in a workflow, but it was unpleasant. My sister and I were talking as I was doing this experiment, and I might adopt it as a like once a semester thing, especially like this point in the semester is really good because again, like I have a bunch of larger projects looming and like more complicated things down the line, but I still have all those normal like weekly things alongside them as well. So if I can just take care of the weekly things and then only have these things left, like that's significantly less stressful than having both. So maybe like once a semester I'll do something like this, but I guess we'll see. If you want to see another video like this, where I do this again, not anytime soon, but you'd like to see it, like this video, comment down below about it. Let me know your thoughts. Would you ever try an experiment like this? I'd love to know. That's pretty much all I have. Sorry that my conclusion is not more grand. I survived this week, and I'm proud of that. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and comment down below. Would you ever do something like this? Did you enjoy watching this video? What do you think about the concept of full-time, particularly when it comes to students? Like, what do you think of the concept of a full-time student? Does it baffle you as much as it baffles me? Do teachers' expectations of how much work we're going to do in a week baffle you as well? If you're in school, how much time do you devote to school in a week? Do you actually know? Because I didn't really realize before how little time I spent on it. And subscribe for more reading, writing, and college lifestyle content on Wednesdays and Sundays. And until next time, bye humans, bye.